Welcome to the Koncierge Business Circle Podcast, where we talk about scaling smarter, leading stronger, and creating the freedom you started your business for. I'm Candice Burris. Let's dive in. Firstly, I hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving holiday last week. I did not do a podcast because I live what I teach in the Freedom Blueprint, and I prioritize freedom and time spent with family above all else. And today I said I would talk about step 4 in the Freedom Blueprint, but I had to pivot because I found myself triggered this week. This topic I'm about to share is one of the biggest blind spots I see in business owners: measuring value based on time instead of results. Every business has these two types of employees I'm about to describe. One is everywhere all the time. The other, barely seen, but highly impactful. And most business owners get their value completely backwards. Let me introduce you to employee number 1. They make $200,000 a year plus benefits, really good salary. They show up every morning at 6 a.m., coffee in hand, ready to crush the day. They don't leave until 6 p.m., 12-hour days. 5 days a week. Lots of busyness, lots of activity, email after email, mouse is always moving, phone calls, some smoke breaks, and then more emails. And at the end of the year, here's the measurable outcome. 0% added to revenue, 0% added to cutting expenses, $0 for profit. The only data point on paper is their salary and benefit cost. Now, as a business owner, I want you to sit with that for a second. An entire year of being busy with absolutely no bottom line return. Now let's look at employee number 2. Same salary, same benefits, a $200,000 investment. But this employee works differently. They're in the office maybe 20 to 30 hours a week, not because they're lazy, but because they think, they innovate, they strategize, and they spend their downtime creating ideas that actually move the business forward. And when they are in the office, they execute with precision. No wasted movement, no meaningless busy work. And here's the measurable outcome at their year end: 20% revenue growth, 20% reduction in expenses, $10 million added to the bottom line. So let's calculate that ROI, return on investment. $10 million return divided by $200,000 cost equals a 50x return, or 5,000% ROI. Let me say that again. A 5,000% return on one employee, from the same salary investment as employee number 1. And here's the part that blows my mind, and I see this in almost every business I walk into. Most business owners value employee number 1 more. Why? Because they equate butt in seat with value. They think long hours equals commitment. They mistake activity for productivity. Meanwhile, employee number 2, the one actually creating the results, often goes unnoticed. They often outgrow the company, and they eventually leave because they know their value, and they won't stay where they're measured by time instead of impact. This is the downfall of so many businesses. Owners reward time instead of results. They track presence instead of profit. They manage task instead of outcomes. And as long as that's happening, they will never, ever unlock their full growth potential. So ask yourself, are you managing your team like employee number 1 is the hero? Are you measuring bodies in chairs or actual performance? Do you know who your 50x ROI people are? And do you treat them like the asset they are? Because here's the truth. If you don't recognize your high-value employees, someone else will. And if you keep rewarding busy work, you'll keep getting ... busy work. Your business doesn't scale by adding more hours, more tasks, or more activity. It scales by identifying the people and the roles that create true results. Measure your ROI, return on investment, not time. Measure outcomes, not effort. Measure impact, not presence. If this episode hit home today, share with a business owner who still thinks long hours equal high value. And as always, keep building your freedom. Thanks for tuning in to the Koncierge Business Circle Podcast. If today's episode gave you clarity or inspired action, share it with another business owner who's ready to step into their CEO role. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep building your freedom.